Probably should have done this first. Hey. Hey, how we doing, guys? This is Hack Nation Live. I am your host, Aaron Bennett. Come to you every Wednesday night, at least all the ones that we can, from 7 to 9 Central Time. If you know, you know. If you don't, now you do. The purpose of this show, it's a caller-centric show. It's a call-in. The number to call in, guys, is 573-422-4225. We encourage you to be part of the show. And the purpose of this show is to give back to this community as much as I can, interact with people, and help as many people as I can. The comment sections tend to fill up with people that are here to help. And just so you guys know, we do appreciate that. We appreciate all of our patrons in the comment sections that help. We do have one caller already. Let's go ahead and take the caller just so we can see if our phone lines are working. Let's see what happens here. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you letting me pick your brain about an issue I'm having with my truck.
Yeah, man, not a problem. What can we do for you?
Right. So I've got a Kenworth T660 with a SDP C15 in it, and I sucked up. So on the exhaust side, there's a little bellows there, and it cracked, and I sucked up dirt inside my motor through the EGR and pretty much washed out my motor. So I had an end frame done. They actually found a broken ring at that time. You know, did an end frame. I bought a stage 3 head from y'all guys and oil pump and some head bolts and just miscellaneous stuff. But I don't know where the guy that rebuilt it, I don't remember where he got the end frame kit from. But when he put it back together, whenever I picked it up, it's purging coolant out of the overflow tank. You know, it would purge out like a gallon of it. And so he pulled the head off, replaced the head gasket. I had called and talked to you or Matt. I don't remember who I spoke with over the phone. It's been a couple months ago. This was back in February when this first happened. And so I've been battling this for a while. He put a new head gasket on there, took off, and it ended up blowing out my heater core. So bypassed the heater core, and it's still just building up a bunch of pressure. I called and spoke with y'all, and you know, made the comment that, you know, it could be, sounds like a head gasket issue again. You know, it's happened to y'all where, you know, you replaced the head gasket and it's, you know, failed, whatever. You know, it's not rare. So went back in, pulled the head off again, had the head checked, make sure there wasn't anything wrong with it, just a local shop there in town, and put a new head gasket on there, and it's still doing the same thing. It just, whenever I'm empty, like I've driven, you know, several hours away, you know, Bobtail bought another trailer, Bobtail, you know, brought the trailer back empty. I've loaded some loads on there, you know, 10 or 15,000 pounds, no problem. But when I get 35,000 or more on a trailer behind it, it'll purge out coolant, and it doesn't seem to matter if it's hot or cold or whatever. It's just, it you know, after driving it for a little while, it just purges it out. And then, you know, last week I delivered a load. It was like 40,000 pounds, 43,000 pounds on my trailer. It blew out coolant twice on the way to go deliver it, about 30 minutes out of town. Unloaded that, drove back, no problem. And I thought, okay, I just got the truck back from him working on it again, you know, with another head gasket. And so all the way back empty, no problem. So I took another load, drove about another 30 minutes, and it purged it out twice again. So I met one of my other drivers. We swapped trailers, hauling an empty trailer back. It doesn't do it. So whether it's hot, cold, whatever, it doesn't care. It's just, it seems like it's building up more boost, and then it purges out coolant out of the overflow tank. So we've checked the EGR. We've checked. He riding around. He said he didn't see anything that stood out to him. The boost bobtailing got to like 24 psi with a empty trailer. It was like 42, I think is what he said. And then when I put a load on it, the highest he saw was 53 pounds of boost. It still has the turbo. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if
I can give you an educated opinion. And here's my here's my guess. Okay. You've basically put a head on it was having issues pressuring up the coolant right out the gate. You took it back to the guy. He did a new head gasket and it's still pressuring up. You've had another place do the head gasket again. It's still pressuring up, correct?
Well, it's the same guy. And he also thought, okay, it's showing right at 6 on the liner protrusion. Let me change out the shims. So he pulled the motor apart, put some different shims in there, put it back together, and now he's at 4.5 on the liner protrusion, and it's still doing the same thing.
Yeah, because that's not where the problem's at. So here's my educated guess. Okay. When we had the original problem, he probably rolled a water grommet, something like that, which was allowing combustion gas to go into the coolant, caused you to lose coolant, and most likely caused a critical event, and the head got hotter than shit. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, and it's very, very likely. And so every time that you guys have tried to fix the problem is now the cylinder head, and the cylinder head is compromised.
Okay.
You know, the STP's, you know, not my favorite engine, but it's still just a cat. Takes the same head as all the other cats, same pistons, same liners. It's really not that different. Just externally, it's got a lot of crap hanging off of it. But long story short, man, the cylinder head got compromised the very first time. Oh, I can almost guarantee it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my thought is maybe there's something wrong with the head, and so he's decided. I took it to him last week. He's supposed to have the head off yesterday or today. He was going to take it to a place in Houston and have them check the head out. See if they can find anything wrong with it. Because the guy in Victoria didn't see anything wrong with it. Cylinder head guy there, but he said he was going to take it to Houston and have it looked over there by a place that remans heads and see if they can see anything that the other guy didn't see. But I don't know. My head that came off of there originally, whenever I had the original issue to rebuild the engine, do an M-frame, when they looked at that one, they could see little hairline cracks in 5 of the 6 cylinders. It had something obvious, but whenever he checked this head, this new one, he couldn't see anything wrong with it. But he said he's going to get a second opinion from somewhere else and see if they can find anything wrong with the head. Is it something you think they would see? A head shop should be able to see something wrong with it, don't you think?
Well, a machine shop can magniflex it and see what's going on with it, but I can almost guarantee you the head's no good.
Okay. So if I buy another head from y'all and put that on there and it's still the same thing, then what do you think it would be?
That's you buy a new head and put it on there, your problem's going to go away.
Okay.
Some people are saying maybe it's yes, I just did a cricket sound. But anyway, if you're what am I trying to say here? Sorry, I got thrown off. What you're describing, it's not a compressor or something stupid like that. It's only happening when you're loaded, which means it's only happening under load and when it's working and when it's hot. That's a cylinder head.
Okay.
All right, brother. I mean, I hate to say that, but
all right. Well, I mean, I mean, if that's all it is, I'll be happy because I haven't had my truck to where I can really work it since February, you know. So if I got to spend another $5,000 on a head and that fixes my problem and I'm back to work, I'm happy about that.
I'd almost bet you $1,000. You put a head on it, and the problem's going to magically go away.
Okay.
All right. Brother.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. But just out of curiosity, if he takes that head to that place they reman's heads and they check it over and don't find anything wrong with it, what do you think I ought to do?
That they didn't have the capability of seeing what's wrong with it. Here's what I think. I think that you're going to spend so much money finding out that head's no good. $600, $700, $800, just to have a shitty head. You probably should have just went and got a head. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean and I don't know. I mean, I'm not paying for this. This mechanic's paying for all this stuff, but and I guess I don't know. I guess I'll have to have a conversation with him to see if he's going to buy another head from y'all to replace this one. If that's what happened, when he put it together, if there was an issue with the way he assembled it, and it cracked my new head I just got from y'all.
You got to deduce it down, right? And the problem that you're having, some people in the comment section are saying, maybe check the compressor, this and that. That's not how it works. You'd have a problem all the time.
Yeah, it's a new compressor. I put a new compressor too.
That don't necessarily mean anything either. The head was new as well, right? But the way you're describing it can only be a cylinder head. So you need to throw a cylinder head on it and move on. And you guys are wasting money taking it to the machine shop, in my opinion. Only because you're going to pay for them to tell you it's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Is that something, if I brought it over to y'all, because I don't live that far from y'all, would y'all look at that head and see, or you just...
I mean, yeah, it's a good, come to think of it, yeah. I mean, here's the thing you guys should do. You don't even need to bring it here. What you guys should do is do a combustion gas test on it. Have you done that? You should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And?
Yeah, it turns from blue to green, so...
Oh, then, come on, dude, get rid of the head.
So that's when I called y'all the first time. You said it's probably the head gasket, but
well, I
don't think he's messed up 3 head gaskets,
No, it wasn't.
I don't know. It just seems like
it wasn't. So here's kind of how it works as a rule of thumb. If you get done doing a brand new build, and this includes my shop, it's kind of the ask me how I know deal. When you have a problem, right after you've rebuilt it, you almost all, and especially on cats, you can almost guarantee you rolled a water grommet or something like that. You messed up the head gasket. No big deal. You pull it up, you change the head gasket, and go about your business. But if it got ran, lost too much coolant and it was pulling hard or something stupid, it doesn't take much. The head's no good, and you really fucked yourself.
Okay.
But anyway, brother. All right.
Okay.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Diesel Beast in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. How you been? I tried talking to you at Matt's there, and it was just elbow room only around old Charlie Trucker there. But anyhow, I saw a comment. I wanted to say something too. Oh, somebody said, what do you say? You called the other day, and the lady said we don't do overhaul. We just have kits. No, it's not. I mean, that's partially true. We are trying not to do overhauls in-house anymore. We are trying to move over to where we're just doing long blocks and complete engines. In the long run, we've already kind of moved just to that, and we're already seeing it's way better for the end user, way faster. Their downtime gets cut from months to just days. So that's what they're trying to tell you. Will I try the Pittsburgh Power Catalyst? Guys, and callers, I'm going to get to you in 1 second here. Just give me a second. Our dyno is going to be up and running here just in a couple of days. Once we have a dyno up and running, I plan on testing all kinds of stuff, guys, including different fuel additives. Because, man, of all the things that I get approached about, right? I'm sure you guys can imagine that with our marketing ability, we get approached by a lot of people like, hey, will you market my fuel additive? And I tell all of them, not a chance, right? But I might change my mind about that now that we have a dyno where I can actually test it. And our dyno has the system that goes on it that tells you your fuel economy, your fuel usage, and all that, which is really cool. So we could run the engine, and then take our fuel tank, put some additives in it, run it again, see if we see any kind of an improvement, and we'll have real time data, right? I'm not interested in doing a Dave's Auto and selling you my fucking snake oil, Dave's secret sauce, right? Testing people's products in real time and seeing if they actually make a difference. That's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, guys, and just so you know, our dyno is not for trucks. It's an engine only dyno. Or I've already had all kinds of people DM me if they could bring their truck here and dyno it. That wouldn't fit our purpose at all. We need an engine dyno. Back to the callers here. Leo, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hello.
Yep, it's you, brother. What can I do for you?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm the one that texted you earlier about those crack engine blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I bought an engine block. We overhauled it completely. New head, everything, with the Interstate McBee kit. So second oil change, I get right after my second oil change, the engine cracked, the block cracked just to the right of the turbo, so I had oil gushing out like crazy. So we got another block, took out all the parts from that one, and put it on the other block we got. After the third oil change, the same thing happened. And nobody can tell me why that happened.
Well,
in the same area.
Both times the piston turned sideways, I'm guessing, right?
Well, we haven't, the first time, the mechanic didn't, I don't know, he didn't check, he didn't tell me, I don't know. So I don't know what happened. We just took everything out and put in the second one, and the second engine, we haven't opened it yet. So I bought another engine. Actually, I bought a truck. It had a 6NZ in it, so we just pulled it out and dropped it in my truck. So
the first one.
The cracked block is still complete.
Is this thing not working? Hey, the first one, the piston had to have to turn sideways for you to put a hole in the block. I'm guessing that's what happened, right?
I'm not sure. I wasn't told, so I'm trying to get answers. The mechanic didn't tell me.
Okay, so I can kind of tell you from here that's what happened. The piston turned sideways and pushed a hole in the block. Okay, the second time when if you tore that second engine down, you're going to find the exact same thing because that's the only way you put a hole in the block up where you're talking about by the turbo. That piston's in there sideways and has put a hole in the block.
Oh, okay.
That can only happen.
I mean, it's a hairline crack. Both of them had like a hairline crack, and then oil just gushing out of there. It's not like a big hole in it.
But the engine's not operable, right?
No, not at all.
Right. So we seized up and punched a hole in the side of the block. Brother, that only happens one way. And let me just give you an example. Okay. We have an engine that we recently overhauled, and it's kind of a specialty engine. And when you do the piston cooling nozzles, there's a procedure, and if you don't get it just right, it will be just off a little bit. And one of the 6, it was number 1, was off just a little bit, and the truck only ran, I don't know, 20 hours. and one of the pistons turned sideways, and it knocked a little hole in the block, and now we're having to do a whole big shit show and get the guy a new engine, right? That was done here. You guys know me. I don't mind telling you.
No, okay.
You know, I don't pretend like we never have anything bad happen. But that's how that happened. So they either bent the cooling nozzles, or they didn't get the wrist pins clipped in correctly. Could only be one of those two things that happened both times. Both times that's what happened to you. One of those two things.
No, okay. So that's installation failure right there by the mechanic.
But either way that failure happens, it's an installation failure. That's why I took the time to tell you that we just recently had the same thing happen. And I've already calculated it out to make this guy whole, which we're getting it done. Fortunately, he had an extra engine he threw in his rig, and it didn't slow him down at all. Thank God for that. But it's going to cost me probably $26,000 to fix this engine. But I got to fix it. You know, it's an installation error. It is what it is, right? And it was the most simplest mistake. We're talking eighth of an inch. You know, and they're not like your this is a smaller engine. They're not like your normal cooling nozzles. They have a clip that clips in, and then you got to get the bolt lined up. And then the procedure is after you get it installed, you got to go back and check it. And one of them wasn't checked well enough. You know, but it doesn't change. It doesn't change how it failed, what happened, and whose fault it is. Right? It's our fault.
Yeah, exactly.
So the failure on your
that's what I was trying to figure out, because
the failure on both of your engines happened from the shop. I guarantee it.
No, okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, because I mean, the mechanic's like, no, there's no way we put something wrong. I mean, I'm sure it is, you know, just admit it, you know, but he's like, there's no way. No, that didn't happen. I mean, well, what else could it be? I mean, I know that's what happened, but I don't have a way to prove it, you know, because he knows more than me.
Bent cooling jet or wrist pin not clipped in properly. It's the only two ways. Literally, like the only two ways that can happen.
No.
All right, brother?
No, all right. All right, man. Well, appreciate your time, man. And I enjoy watching your videos, man. So keep it up.
Yep. Have a good night, man. Good luck on the next one. Got a lot of callers on hold here, guys. It could have some applications for stiction on your medium duty, your common rails. Doesn't belong in our industry at all, in my opinion. Their Ceatane booster that they sell, that Hot Shots has, doesn't compare to just plain old power service. Anyway, we better get back to the callers, guys. They're stacking up really hard. John Brown, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Well, this had to do with a DD15, and it was years ago. But the prognosis ended up being they had an engine miss. The problem ended up being the connecting rod bent. Detroit tells me the only way that can happen is too much crankcase pressure. I don't see how that thing can. I mean, I even did the teardown on it, and I did not determine if it did get crankcase pressure that heavy to bend the rod, where could it came from. But we put a new rod in.
Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think how any world crankcase pressure would bend a rod. And in fact,
I can't either.
There's no way. Now you could make some.
Well, we didn't.
You could make some arguments that combustion gas going into the crankcase superheated the oil enough and degraded the oil enough that you weren't getting adequate lubrication, and that caused the liner to swell up and catch in the bore and bend the rod. If you wanted to go down this huge fucking rabbit hole where you're making leaps and jumps over all kinds of other logic, yes, crankcase pressure could bend your rod by proxy, right? But that's
I no, I didn't see that either. But I'm just thinking manufacturer problem maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Bent rods almost exclusively happen from some kind of event going on, liner to piston, cylinder head to piston, and that's pretty much it, right? There's no other thing that can, hydrolock, like somebody said, that's still your cylinder head to piston crown. You have to have something like that. I actually bent a rod in a 7.3 diesel by hydrolocking it one time years ago. I was mashing through rivers with my buddies and sucked in air and bent some rods, But again, that's a hydrolock situation where I'm compressing cylinder head to the piston, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking the guy probably ether locked it or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That can happen. But man, yeah, I mean maybe. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not really scared of ether. I know a lot of places think it's a really big no. Ether doesn't scare me too much. We will use it here if we feel like we need to. We're really trying to get something started. Ether kind of really comes down to how you use it. I like to have the engine already turning over, give it a couple squirts while it's turning over. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem.
Yeah.
But I've been there with everybody else and vapor locked an engine more than once with ether, but I've never bent a rod from it. Yeah, it certainly could be hard on it, but I don't know why you bent a rod, but it has to be related to some kind of rod to.
I mean,
piston.
when we tore down to replace the rod, we didn't see anything physical wrong.
So how'd you know you had a bent rod?
Well, because it was down. You take it to it was the two center pistons, and it was down about an eighth of an inch more than the other one. Then once we got it, yeah, you could tell it just even behind them.
I don't know. Well, what is it you were hoping I could help you with? I think I'm kind of losing track here.
Just how it would even happen, but their prognosis of why it did, I just,
not a thing.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, well, their prognosis is not correct.
I didn't think it would be either, but anyway.
Oh.
Well, nice talking to you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
I mean, so this is what you're always going to find. Wild prognosis from shops, which is always the theme. Instead of just saying, yeah, man, here's what happened, here's what we did, and let's get it fixed up. It is what it is. Timothy Hansen, you're on the air, brother. What can I do for you?
I was just wondering if you happen to be hiring right now.
Hiring for what?
Mechanic.
No, not right now. We actually probably have a little bit more guys than we need. We did downsize quite a bit when we moved to this new shop, to be honest with you. And we think we probably have one or two guys too many, to be honest with you, for the route, for the change that we're doing. So not right at this time.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the inquiry, though. Sounds like you got a few years.
Well, I follow you all the time, and
it sounds like you got.
I appreciate all the advice. What's that?
How old are you?
41.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you sound like you have a few years on you there. Yeah, not right now, man. We're just we're actually literally think there's too many people here as it is, but they've all been here for so long. I'm just gonna find stuff for them to do, I think.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty, and keep me in mind, I guess.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the call. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Right. Well, I would have guessed much older than that. That's why I asked. He's younger than I am. Anyhow, I don't know what the name is on this one, but caller, you're on the air. You have a misfire on cylinder 2, looks like.
Yes, I have it's a 2014 Peterbilt ISX 2350. It was towed in for having coolant on number 6 piston. We pulled it down. Number 6 had antifreeze on it. Head gasket was blown right there. The owners did not want to go no deeper. We checked liner protrusion, none of them was dropped. Head gasket, new head, put it back together, and it's got a cylinder 2 misfire.
Okay, and we know cylinder 2's injector's good?
We put a new injector in cylinder 2. Same thing. We put a noise light on top of the injector, all of it's firing. So we just finally said screw it and ordered an injector harness, an engine harness, and put on.
Yep.
Cylinder 2 misfire. We've done a compression check. All of them is held within 1 or 2 of each other.
Valve train looks good?
I've blew out. Everything looks good. We've went over the valves probably 9 times on this damn.
Okay, so
blew out all back pressure tube, cleaned out the thermostat housing, exhaust back pressure sensor.
and it could be the injector driver in the ECM. So let's not throw that out the window. It's typically not the ECM.
We put a test ECM on it.
Okay, all right on.
And Cummins told us that there's 2 different heads that could possibly go on there. They're 1 digit off. And they said, well, we sent y'all the wrong one. So they sent us the other one and a head gasket. Told them that they said they would cover it. We put it on. It's the same thing. Something about it's got the wrong valves in it is what they told us.
Okay, brother. But did you take the pistons out?
We did not.
Okay.
We pulled the oil pan and made sure it didn't have no bent rod or nothing like that.
Number 2 probably has broken rings. And
do you think that would have showed in a compression check, though?
I mean, you would think, but let me give you an example that I'm just pulling from experience. Okay. This has happened to us twice. Happened to us twice in 2025, so last year. And we had the exact same thing. We're just trying to figure out why we're missing on one cylinder, and it didn't matter what we did, didn't matter what we changed, didn't matter what we tried to do. We finally took the heads off and pulled it apart, and both times, both these instances that were totally separate engines, totally separate events, we had broken rings. That was the problem. A leak down test, like somebody just mentioned, would help you figure that out.
Okay. Well, I know we was out of options because we done a compression check and everything showed to be good.
Okay.
Do you think possibly a broken thing?
I mean, so one of them was here in our shop. One of them was at somebody else's shop, but we had built it. And there's a lot of good shops out there, that we send people to for warranty if they're not anywhere near us. And these are, one of those shops, and they're just working with me trying to figure out this problem without, turning it into some shit show where they're, oh, you just got to rebuild the whole thing. Bullshit, And
Yeah.
both times it ended up being the same thing. They figured theirs out by just taking the injector out and putting compressed air to it, and it was just dumping all the air. Right. And we figured ours out just by parts. Same problem on both of them, both times. And both of us were chasing an injector problem. This guy that was at the other shop, he came here from Houston. I put a new injector in. He went to Dallas, still having problems, had the big shop put an injector in for him, and then went somewhere out east, and still having the same problem. And I had him go to a shop we knew over there, and they put another injector in it. So 3 injectors, still the same problem. And that's when I started to tell him, we need to look deeper. And sure enough, it ended up being a liner to piston problem. So I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that's what's going on with you, but I'm just giving you 2 examples of having the same problem you're having. That's what ended up being. Now you can usually figure that out with a borescope, but you guys had it apart, and it just may be you guys didn't rotate it over, and see that liner was swiped out or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, when we had it apart, when we checked the liner protrusion and all that, made sure none of them was dropped, they asked, did we see anything? And I barred it over, and the cross hatching still looked good in the liners. It didn't look like it had any issue. Even in the one that had, so number 6 is the one that had antifreeze on top of the piston.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it still looked good.
Yeah, and it could have broke after startup.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just trying to give you an idea, man. It might, hopefully, that's not your problem, but something's your problem, right? And and when you do an injector test, it comes back good.
No, if you go through Cummins and do one of the injector performance tests, it'll fail it every time for number 2. You do a cylinder cutout, it never changes when you click number 2.
What?
It's constantly just sitting there running, shaking the steering wheel the whole time.
And what kind of engine is this exactly? I thought in the beginning you said it was a Detroit.
It's a ISX X15 2350.
That changes things a little bit.
And I've done fuel pass-through tube, fuel tube. We even had a motor sitting here that we've got out of another truck, and I put the fuel rail off it on this one, thinking maybe, hey, something stopped up in the fuel rail on number 2, not letting it get fuel. It shows to be firing if you put a noise light on top of the injector.
And when you cut that injector out, does the noise go away?
It don't change nothing. That's why I put one of our test TCMs on it, and I even loaded just a stock file for that truck in it and put it on it, and it's still cylinder 2 misfire.
It might be the external harness.
We put it on too. we put engine harness, injector harness, injector.
Here's what you. Yeah, Glenn Long says a sticking Jake solenoid will do this. He is right about that. A sticking Jake solenoid would cause it to misfire, but I don't think it would cause you to do a false, come up with a negative on an injector cutout test. Here's what I would probably do. I would swap injectors in that hole with one right beside it and see what happens. You know, and I know you put a brand new
I've done that
in it,
too.
but okay. So,
I've done anything I could think of, I've done it.
well, you kind of narrowed it down to only two things it can be. Okay. You have a Jake solenoid that's staying on for some reason. Change that one rocker lever, one you got laying around. See if that fixes it.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't fix it, then you're gonna have to go down in that hole and see if you got broken rings.
Okay.
All right, brother. Well, good luck with that one.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye. You're actually probably right, Glenn. It's probably is a Jake brake lever. Because what else could it be? I mean, it could be broken rings. We had it happen twice last year. Maybe it's out of time. If it was out of time, guys, you'd think you'd see more problems than just on number 2. And it wouldn't just stay on number 2. Yeah, a leak down test is better than a compression test, in my opinion. For finding stuff like this anyway. But anyway, guys, better go back to the callers. Winston, I think you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Howdy, Aaron. How are you?
Good, man.
No, just it's a kind of a vague statement. I guess I should have put it in the call in there. I got 2 type of questions, but I got a buddy that he just bought a Kenworth with a T800 with a MX-13F, and he's like, when he gets into a hard pull or when the boost starts coming up about 20 psi, he starts getting a vibration, and he's put a clutch in, put a transmission in, did all new hangers, so on and so forth. He says he's been into the rear ends. I don't know what that means. I know that's, again, vague for you, but like with that, like torquing up that drive line when she starts boosting, is it in the rear ends or not? But he's like, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I just,
all that means is it's
on that note, that's why
it's a mechanical problem, right? And you're probably already hit the nail on the head. It's probably in the differentials. If he's already done everything back, to the differentials. I can't tell you how many times people have came in to have us diagnose a transmission, and it's actually been the differential. Yeah, and that's the first thing we look for, is make sure that we're not dealing with differentials. It's really hard to tell when you have a bad differential that it is a differential. You know what I mean? And
yeah, no, 100%.
And when a guy says he's been into the differentials, I don't even know what the fuck that means, because that's not even how differentials work.
You and me both.
You have one little plug for adding oil and another one where you can drain all the oil, and that's about it, Chip. Other than unbolting it and pulling it, from away from the case, that's the only way you could claim you got into your differential.
Well, I guess that's what
could be the power divider, could be any of those things. And if it was in the drive shaft, U-joint, hanger bearing, carrier bearing, any of that kind of stuff, even the output, and it's getting worse, rolling under the truck for 3 minutes, a guy could find it no problem, unless it's in the transmission or differential. If it's in the transmission, he would know it, because it would most likely be gear related, whatever gear I'm in. It wouldn't be, it's just, you can really kind of tell when it's a transmission. But if he's chasing the drive line, the drive shaft, it's obvious that he already assumes it's further back. which makes me lean really hard towards he's got a differential problem, and something's about to cut loose on him.
And, and that's what I thought too. Like, I only see the guy a couple times a year. I mean, he's a trucking buddy, whatever. But he feels like it's the turbo side of it. And I told him, like, no. But I don't know the longevity of that.
Well,
MX-13 has got about 700,000.
They typically go a lot longer than that, but I guess my first question would be, why are we talking about our drivetrain if we think it could be a turbo? I mean, it's really easy to figure out if you got a vibration in your engine versus your drivetrain, right? Unless it happens to be on your, your flywheel, flex plate, whatever. That's really still part of the drivetrain. Do we have an engine problem or do we have a drivetrain problem? If we have a drivetrain problem, and we've already checked out the entire drivetrain, we can only be a transmission or a differential.
Yeah. The only other thing I asked him is, like, have you read your damper?
Jesus Christ, what kind of vibration are we dealing with here?
See, and that's where, like, again, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to waste your time, but it's so vague. Like, it's like, I get into a hard pull, empty or load, not even hard pull. I mean, we live in Wisconsin. But you're pulling 20 pounds of boost. He's like, and it gets really, really bad at 20 pounds of boost. And that's why I'm calling you, because I don't know much about the MX-13 at all.
Well, I can tell you that it's just a diesel engine like all the rest of them. And if the vibration dampener was causing these problems, he already would have broke the crank in half.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right. So there's just not enough information on this one, man. You guys would have to narrow down further if we're dealing with an engine or if we're dealing with a drivetrain problem. But no,
that's why I just,
your MX-13 is not prone to just having problems because there's 700,000 miles on it.
All right, like, again, you just addressed my question. Quick, the other question, the boss got N14, blacktop, no matter, whatever. Put an oil cooler on it because its oil temp is getting very, very hot. And I wanted to ask you, like, do you guys have that oil bypass system for the N14s or no?
Yeah, man. They work on anything. You just got to come out of the oil rifle,
all right,
into the supply, and then back, return back into the sump, and that will work on any engine. You could put it on a freaking, the 5.9 Cummins.
All right. Well, again, I just a question. I didn't want to waste your time, but you have a good night, Aaron.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Appreciate the call. Have a good night, brother.
You.
Yeah, my wife bought me these replica guns. They're kind of cool. They're made all out of metal, and they function. They got bullets in the mags. You can literally rack the slide and chamber the bullet. All the functions work. Muzzle brake, the whole 9 yards. These rails come off, and I actually had to build them. They all came as kits, and I had to build them all. It's pretty funny. They came with instructions. I built them all, and then my wife was like, she's like, well, here's all the instructions. I'm like, oh, they're already all built because they literally go. I've owned all these guns before. I mean, obviously, I haven't owned an RPG, but this RPG actually shoots. You pull the little trigger, and the thing will launch out of it. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's just kind of silly, but it's fun. Whatever. Anyway, back to the callers. Harvey Miller, what can we do for you, brother?
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Aaron?
Good, man. What's going on?
Hey, a couple months ago, back in November, I think it was, I called you and I had a 12.7 that locked up on me. It just quietly shut off, and you told me to take the oil pan off, and I would find, where it had locked up. And so I did that and found that you were right. The second and third bearing were blue from the front back. The main bearings were blue. However, so I've been listening to your lives, and you was talking about, the bypass oil filter, Lorenzo's at the time when you first started with that.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with you changing to your own and all that. But what I wanted to share with you.
Hang on. I just want to clarify really quick.
Okay.
That bypass that Lorenzo's was doing with us, that's something they made for us. That was our bypass. It just.
No, I get that. I get that.
It just was. There was just some issues with it. It was way too big. We didn't like the lid design. There's just some issues with it, and instead of us just, instead of inventing the wheel, they just kind of walked away, and we just had somebody else, somebody immediately jumped in to fill their shoes. That's one of the blessings for us with the marketing power we have. There's like always a line of people wanting to do something with us, right? So we just told these other people exactly what we were looking for, and they cranked it out as fast as they could. So we're back in business with them.
Right.
But what can I answer for you here?
So what happened is I had a Lorenzo's filter on that engine.
Okay.
I was running Lorenzo's oil in that engine, and I had Lorenzo's in there when I locked it up.
Okay.
This is why I wanted to talk to you about this, because what I discovered, you know how 12.7s will leak oil like a sieve.
Yep.
Up on the valve cover, back end of the valve cover. I had two different mechanics try to seal that up, and neither one of them could get it to where it was sealed. And so I decided to add some Lucas to see if I could get it a little more stringy and slow that flow down, right?
Yep.
Well, I put the Lucas, a half a gallon of Lucas in, and it slowed it down quite a bit. Well, then I changed oil. Now, I was running 100,000 miles on an oil change, changing the filters at 50,000.
Okay.
And so I added the Lucas the one time, and then the next time I changed oil, before it locked it up, I put, Lucas says you can put up to 2 gallons, or 20%, which would be 2 gallons in that 12.7.
Yep.
So I put the 2 gallons in, and then it leaked down a little bit, and I put a gallon of ProLube in it.
Oh, okay. So we can just go ahead and stop right
So
there.
now I got 3 different oils in there.
Hang on. We can just stop right there.
Yeah.
I've already shown you guys. So here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be an asshole and bury some company for no reason. But we have had 2 trucks in here that put a gallon or so of ProLube in their truck and immediately ruined it. immediately ruined it. A 14 liter or a N14 that we overhauled. You know, the guy was sending me oil samples, because so many people do that with us. They'll get an engine from us, or we will rebuild their engine, and then they religiously send me their oil samples. This guy was always sending me oil samples, and then he sends me one, and it's the copper's off just through the roof. And I said, well, you need to stop by here as soon as you can. And he did. And when he gets there, I'm like, okay, from the last oil change. He said, well, just a couple days ago, I added a gallon of Pro Lube. We opened that thing up, and all the mains, all the rods, all the cam bushings, every single bearing in the entire engine was to the copper. All of them. And that's the second time we've seen that in under, 7-8 months, guys. And both of those engines ran Pro Lube. And I made a video talking about it, and I had my DMs blow up with people telling me they ran Pro Lube in their big rig, and the same thing happened to them. Oh, I already know what happened to you. You put Pro Lube in there, and it wiped out all your bearings.
So I got to ask you this, though. Tell me if it wasn't this. Remember a couple weeks ago on your live, you stated that you changed your bypass filter now to 3 microns.
Yep.
If I had a 1 micron, which I got 2 of these for my different trucks, the 1 micron from Lorenzo's. But if I put that Lucas in there, I literally was filtering out all the lube out of that Lucas and the Pro Lube.
No. You got to remember that
all right.
Additive packages are dissolved chemistry. Okay, so most of the additive package is not even going to affect. Right. The problem with a 1 micron filter is it could cause some problems. I don't like that. I don't like that variable. I don't like the fact that I just don't like that variable. So we wanted to go to a 3 micron so no one could ever give us any grief. It's just we know you're not going to have a problem. And 3 micron is kind of the standard for all bypass systems on the market, right? It makes me sleep better at night. That's not why you have this problem. Here's one thing, but if you hadn't have told me about the Pro Lube, I was going to say, what did your oil samples tell you? And if you weren't taking oil,
well, my 100,000 mile oil changes all were good. Everything was great. Right. You know, with my 50,000 mile oil samples, everything was good.
Yeah, and I don't doubt it.
Until 15,000 miles before it locked up, I put this Lucas in, and then
it's not the Lucas, brother.
About a week. No, I didn't say it's a Lucas. About a week before it locked up, I put that Pro Lube in.
The Pro Lube destroyed it.
I see.
I guarantee it. I just don't want to make videos.
Do you know why I put the Pro Lube in it?
I hope you don't say because of me. Because
remember making it.
Somebody else said it was.
It was because remember you made that video, and I'm not trying to knock you or anything. I'm not blaming you, but you remember making that video where you said you put the right amount, what recommended, in your test, and then you said the only thing I can say if you're going to use Pro Lube is use more than what they're saying, otherwise it's not enough. Well, remember that video?
Well, so if on the Timken test, their product didn't do so their product didn't do shit like they show in their videos. You know, they just add a drop.
They recommend it.
Right. They add a drop and it's this miracle product.
Yeah.
Now, when I used pure Pro Lube, it was pretty impressive. Okay. But that's on a Timken test. You guys have to remember those Timken tests don't tell you. I mean, they really shouldn't even be used because they don't tell you shit. They really don't. They don't tell you what kind of thermal breakdown you have over time and all these other things. I don't know what it is about Pro Lube, but I can tell you unequivocally that we see a pattern. We have this big test sample now, and you're adding to that test sample of people that put Pro Lube in within a week. They spin all their bearings. So, for some reason, it destroys them. I guarantee it was that Pro Lube.
So the curiosity that I had about it was, is there a possibility that there's a chemical reaction against each other?
I have no clue. I don't want to make those logical leaps because it's not fair to Pro Lube for me to do that. But I do know that you're the second person to basically allude to I'm the reason you decided to use Pro Lube. So I am motivated. I'll probably make a video tomorrow just telling people our speculative opinion of Pro Lube, if that makes sense. I just have a thing about harming people for no reason, but god damn, man. I know for a fact.
I mean, it's literally that a week after I put it in, it was dead.
Yeah, I know for a fact that Pro Lube destroyed that N14. I know for a fucking fact it did.
Yeah.
But anyway, brother, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Well, just to add to it a little bit, my son put Pro Lube in his differential.
Yep.
Same exact thing. A week later, he had a dead differential.
I'm not surprised.
So, yeah.
Should have poured Dave's secret sauce in there. That has saved it.
Dave's secret sauce. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't read the comment section. Anyway, brother. Well, you've motivated me to make a video tomorrow just to make sure nobody else going forward, you know, at least where I'm not encouraging people to make a bad mistake, because I have made some videos since then telling people I wouldn't use it, right? I showed everybody the N14 and
well, and I might not have caught that one. All I'm saying is I saw the one where you made that, you know, where you had done the test with the bearings. And yeah, I am not blaming you at all. I was actually going to put it in before you even made that video. And then you said that, well, I said, well, I'll put plenty in, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's also I can't remember who that guy is that tests stuff like that, and he was not impressed with the Pro Lube either. Yeah, he said not to use it. I can't remember who that Adept Ape, maybe. Is that who I'm thinking of? But
yeah, I don't never heard of him, but anyway. Hey Aaron, I won't keep you. I thank you for your time, and
all right, brother.
If I put this other filter on my cat, which is the big filter housing, like Lorenzo, I bought it from Lorenzo's, or Insane Diesel, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, if I put that on, do you still have filters that size in 3 micron?
No, we still are carrying the filters for the old style because we sold 40 of them. So we're going to forever have to carry those filters, but they're 1 micron. I can't get them in a 3 micron.
They are 1 micron. So but your oil that you're making, that will work in that 1 micron?
Yep, sure will.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll just order oil from you all.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Somebody called it Project Farm. Project Farm did a test on that Pro Lube. He was not impressed. And I think that's what he said too. Somebody's saying that Pro Lube's chlorinated additives can harm modern engines. I think he said something very similar. Was not impressed with it. You gotta, yeah, if you're interested in our bypass system, we are working hard to get a website, but we have a call center, 12 people working there, actually 23 people working there because you have item fulfillment and warranty and tracking and all that kind of crap. But there's like 12 people that just answer the phones there. They're a great team of guys. And we'd rather talk to you anyway. You know, Even when we have a website up and running here shortly, we're still going to encourage everyone to call in. But is Lucas good to use in diesel trucks? Caller, I'll get to you here in just a second. I don't have a problem with Lucas. The biggest problem I have with Lucas, you guys have to understand what Lucas is. So let's clear that up first. Lucas has synthetic polymers in it. It's the only oil on the market that does. And the miracle of Lucas is those synthetic polymers do not slice when they go through gears. So any of the other oil thickeners on the market that you put in there, they got polymers in them as well, but they don't hold up for very long because they go through the gear train and this and that. You can't use them in differentials. You can't use it in transmissions because it degrades and destroys the polymers right away. So the patent that the owner of Lucas has is on the synthetic polymer that bends rather than breaks. That's the miracle of the product. Other than that, all you're getting is a 90 weight oil with synthetic polymers in it and a standard additive package. It's really not that special of an oil. What is it good for? It's really good for worn out engines to slow down, blow by, oil loss, things of that nature. The problem with it is it does a really good fucking job, and it doesn't do anything for the degradation of your oil and for the premature failure of the engine. So guys will put Lucas in and they're masking a problem instead of addressing the problem. That's the biggest problem with it. It's not that it doesn't do a decent job for what it's meant for, but you're really not curing the underlying problem, which is combustion gas going to the crankcase, degrading the oil, wearing out all of the rotating assembly. Paul, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Howdy. So that Pittsburgh Power max mileage,
Yep.
I've used that since 2019. And they don't market it as something to improve your miles per gallon. Some people say they see an improvement in the fuel mileage, but I've got an ISX 2350. It's a 600 from the factory, and it's tweaked a little bit, but only about 60 horsepower. It reduces soot. I don't know the science behind it, but it changes the temperature or something the fuel burns at. But I didn't see any gain in fuel mileage, but I see a drastic reduction in the amount of soot that you get in your EGR tubes and all that good stuff. So that's why I keep using it, because I'm pretty sure that it's kept me going down the highway.
You are
mostly fairly reliable.
You're not the first person to give that same testimonial. In fact, I think even last week somebody was talking about how much it helps. And I can't confirm or deny that. Pittsburgh Power's been around a long time. They've always had, really good stuff, so to speak. I'm wary of any fuel additive giving you any benefit for your money at any time. I don't care who makes it. The only one I ever say a good thing about is maybe Power Service. But only in the application where it does help. It's, Power Service is a really good anti-gel. It actually works where most of them don't. It does help with the lubricity of the fuel some, and they actually give you some cetane numbers. So you're getting your money's worth. It's not an expensive product. I've never talked to anyone from there. I just, I've used the product quite a bit. The rest of the fuel additives I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've pretty much used them all, are just, you're just increasing the amount of money you pay per gallon for your fuel. But
So-
you are
And
multiple people have given the testimony that you're giving right now
Another-
for that product.
Yeah. So when I had a DPF Alternatives, the one that's up there across the street from Pittsburgh Power, they cleaned my DPF filter.
Yeah.
And the guy came over and he picked it up and he says, I can see you use the catalyst. Yep. And he says, he picks it up and he says, this will clean up really good. And I said, how do you know that? Just by picking it up. He said, for the amount of miles you have, he said it's a lot lighter than people that don't use the catalyst. And they cleaned it and did put it cooking all the shit they do. And he put it on the flow bench, and the next day he checked it and it's just like a brand new one, and they stuck it back in. So that product is not cheap to buy, but it treats.
I've heard,
1 gallon treats 3,200 gallons of fuel. So
there you go. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, and it's all been about the same thing, about the DEF system, about the after treatment. So we're gonna have to go with your prognosis and say it might be worth getting for that. I appreciate you sharing, brother.
If you have a red ISX or an X15, I would definitely recommend it. Maybe not for some other engines that aren't such of a soot producer, but yeah. So, and then one other comment about the guy with the MX13 with the vibration.
Yep.
Don't some of those engines have pushed on cam lobes?
I don't think the
MX coming loose.
Oh, the MX13 depends on the year, but yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
But boy,
so maybe he has a cam lobe that's loose, and when he puts it under load, it's moved a little bit.
God, I think
it's just causing that.
I think he would. I don't think he'd be driving it around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When those cam lobes go, they go. But yeah, you're correct. I mean, you're right. I'm not saying that you're not on track with
anything's possible.
Right, anything's possible. It's just, man, I can't imagine that would be the case. It wouldn't come and go, and it seems to come and go. And it would throw a cylinder misfire code. It just, I don't think so. But yeah. Any opinions are welcome, brother. But good luck with all your ventures, brother. I appreciate the call.
Thank you much. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yep. Bye. Hale Travis says, make sure you order from the correct Hack Nation, because a while ago someone stole their advertising and was selling inferior parts, saying they were coded and they were defective. That would be Highway and Heavy Parts in particular. They bought up every domain name out there that was Hack Nation. If you put Hack Nation into Google, you had no choice but to end up on their website. And yes, the kits that they have, the coatings come right off, and they know it. They know it comes off. So, they just, they have $1 million worth of kits they got to get rid of, so they got to do something. What happened to putting ATF in your fuel? Callers, I'll get to you in 1 second. Only 2 people on hold. We'll get to you here in just a second. What happened to putting ATF in your fuel? I highly recommend you don't do that. You guys have to understand the function of ATF, your power steering fluids, your automatic transmission fluids. These are hydraulic type fluids. They're literally designed to not give under pressure, right? And you're going to put that in one of the most high pressure situations you could ever be in, which would be inside of your injector. You're asking to blow a tip off of your injector and mess up the insides of your injector. Highly recommend you do not put any kind of hydraulic based fluids in your fuel. AJ, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, sir, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, sir. First, Thank you for let me talk. I have a quick question, and I follow. You guys are great. I think you guys are great in the nation. You guys do such a great job, and we all drivers should be appreciated. Now, my question is, sir, I have this not a big fun, but last year I had some issues with my ECM, so I went to this mechanic here in San Antonio, and all he did was give me a new MC. So when I went on the road, and right away I noticed something because my speedometer was not matching my GPS speedometer. And in Kentucky, I was driving to Kentucky, and that's where I was driving on the hill, and my gears dropped since I'm driving on an automatic. So they dropped, and the RPM went to 2,500, I believe. No, it was 25, 24, something like that. So the next day, I'm having misfire and 2 cylinders, 4 and 6. So I brought back the truck. I know something is wrong with that truck. Brought him here and took it back to the mechanic, and he was telling me that it's the hit. So I told him that, hey, this is your ECM. This is the CPC, actually. It was CPC 4 that he gave me. I told him, this is the CPC that he gave me. I mean, the CPC caused this issue. So long story short, since then, I'm out of business. That thing threw me out of business because he told me that the head is bad now. We have to put a new head on it. And so I was like, all right.
How the fuck is a cylinder head out? What the fuck does that have to do with it? Well, I mean, did you over rev it and it messed up the head? Is that what's going on?
Exactly. So I did not do it because I was in 12th gear and it dropped by itself to the ninth gear, gear, and the RPM went high because now I know he did not calibrate it with the VIN number. So that's why the speed on the speedometer with the GPS was not matching.
Brother, slow down a little bit. Okay. So
yes, sir.
So I'm gonna put it in layman's terms here. You took your truck to a shop. He put a different ECM on it. He didn't calibrate.
Yes, sir.
The speed factors, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yes.
And it started shifting itself, over revved, and messed up the cylinder head.
That's correct.
Okay. I mean, you already know everything that happened. What can I do for you, brother?
Now, my question is, what we did not open that cylinder head. All we did was a valve adjustment, and it did not help at all. And he's telling me now it's the cylinder head. And since I wanted to put a new cylinder head on it, and he says now, since you have 870,000 miles on this truck, it will not gonna work. You have to replace the whole engine. All I want to know is, what is the best way, and what could be the cause? Is the cylinder out? It might be the walls. What do you think? Is it gonna be the ring?
No.
What do you think? Because I wanted to know.
What is it doing when you start it?
No compression on both cylinders.
Yeah, you probably smashed the valves, and the valves are messed up.
Okay, sir. So now my other question is that if we open the cylinder and the valves are bad, do you think it might damage the cylinder too or no?
Yeah, it certainly could, but it's not nearly as likely as it just damaged the valves. But I mean, goddamn, dude. I mean, you had it right when you said this guy put you out of business, because that's where you're heading. That's where you're heading with this one, unfortunately.
Yes, I'm done with the trucking. The truck and the trailer is out there in a parking lot paying $100 every month, and I'm out of the business. Last year to March last year, and I couldn't fix it. He was recommending swapping an engine. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just wait and see if I can find somebody that will give me a correct answer or honest answer.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but because of the engine and the nature of the failure, I mean, you're fucked. I mean, this thing's going to cost a lot of money to fix.
I,
I mean,
that's true. So what do you recommend? Is swapping the engine?
I don't know. I mean, the value of the truck would determine that, right? You know, as Grizzly says on here, the head's got to come off either way. You know, if you have it at a shop that's not going to rape you just to pull the head off, that would be the thing to do. Pull the head off and see what's going on. Maybe you just throw a head on it and go truck it.
So yes, sir. So what you're saying, take it to the shop, to that guy, that same guy that he fucked it up. I will take it to him back and tell him to open it and see what's going on. If it was something big, then I would tell him, leave it alone. If it was just the valves, do you recommend putting new valves?
I mean, I don't know why you would take it back to that same guy, other than maybe he might take the head off for you for free because he was directly involved in fucking up your truck.
Yeah, he did. Yes, sir. Yeah, you were absolutely right. I should not take that truck. But since he fucked it up, I wanted to open it and see if you see what the problem is. At least he would tell me that.
Yeah. So I mean, you got nothing to lose there. Have him pop the head off and see what's going on.
Absolutely, I would do that, and I will come over by the shop one day and give you the whole see what is going on. But I don't want to take a lot of your time. You're the best, sir. You're the best.
Have him pop the head off and give us a call back. Tell us what you saw. All right.
Awesome. I will absolutely report it to everything to you, sir.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
You too, sir. You too, sir. Thank you.
You know, I agree. Shouldn't take it back to the same guy on one hand. On the other hand, you know, you're not committed to having him fix it if you just pop the head off. That guy will pop it off, and he probably won't cost him anything. So the number to call into the show, my friend, is 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. We already have 4 callers on hold. I wanted to answer a couple questions here. One guy asked, what can we expect to see from your oil thermostat? They tend to run more like an old cat, where you're 10, 20 degrees different on the coolant to the oil, rather than running 150 freaking or 250 degrees on your oil. They help quite a bit. They're not a miracle product, but they do make a big difference, especially during the summertime. And you know, we do get a little bit of feedback that, you know, there's been a couple people say, oh, it didn't make any difference at all. I've made some comments on here, well, their engine's probably blowing up. The reason I say that, guys, is because you all run us out of those things over and over and over again. We're at a couple thousand of them in trucks at this point. You know, the Grizzly, who's was the original designer of those, you know, him and I work hand in hand on those. We can't keep them in stock. My wife was just scrambling around the shop today trying to find enough to send to Canada, because we're trying to keep the Canadians supplied with them. You guys buy us out of them nonstop, right? And out of all those, we've had, like, I think 4 people say, oh, it didn't make any difference at all. Well, 4 people out of 2,000, you know, we have 1,996 people that are having good luck with them. I think they're a really good product. Another person asked about the oil bypass filtration system. Should he get one or not? I don't care if you get mine or not. You should 100% put an oil bypass system on. I've made dozens and dozens of videos about them way before we ever had one. I would never own a truck without one. That's a fact, because you're increasing the longevity of the engine so much, even if you don't want to do the whole system where you get a really good POAF oil, you know, a tier 4 full synthetic oil, and run it out for 1 million miles. Even if you just want to do your regular old oil routine, it's still the best thing in the world for your engine. So, and there was one more I wanted to answer before I went back to the callers. Where was that? Well, I don't remember now. So, to this. All right, no name. We'll just take the call. You're on the air. What can we do for you, brother?
Hey, I'm online.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I got this AC system, and I noticed there was 2 Schrader valves on the low side, which I thought was weird. And I looked it up, and one of the Schrader valves, it's got a metal cap on it, so you can tighten it down with like a wrench. That's only for the factory to fill the Freon, so you're not supposed to use it. But I was getting a leak, so I used a leak detector, like electronic one. And it was beeping at the cap, and I undo the cap, and sure enough, it lets pressure out. The Schrader valve's bad. I can't find the Schrader valve anywhere. I found the gauge, took it to my machinist, and he was like, "It's a 5/16 by 32nd." It's like super random. So I just put Teflon tape on the threads and tightened it down, and it held vacuum, and it's kind of blowing cold. But I'm like, this is a hack trick. I've never encountered this before. I'm being unable to find the Schrader valve, and then I'm not sure how to properly seal it. If there's like some kind of sealant that would be applicable here or something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an AC specialist, but I tend to do all my own AC, like on my sailboat.
Yeah.
I install the AC system on it, and I do all the AC on all my own trucks and this and that. And I can tell you one thing: when you're having problems with shit like that, new hose. They're typically not that expensive. New hose is going to have your new valve on it and all that, and you just start over.
No, it's a metal line coming from the evaporator.
Oh shit!
So it's steel though, so I'm like, it's kind of nuts, but I guess I could.
But even those you can get. But the answer to your question is no. I don't really know of anything. It's usually the the valve stem inside that's the problem. Those you can buy. Go to Amazon.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yep, you can go to Amazon and buy a kit that's going to have every size on planet Earth, and you figure out which one it is and swap it out.
I did that. I got it right here at my desk.
Right on.
None of them fit. I'm going insane.
Oh yeah, I don't. What kind of vehicle is it?
You're gonna laugh. It's on a '90s Volvo 240.
Okay, so I mean, and probably the whole comment section is gonna laugh because you're calling about not a truck, but it's okay.
Shit! I didn't know this was a truck only.
No, you're good. I have a Toyota.
I get truck shit in it.
Yeah, I have a Toyota, and I can't do anything to the stupid AC on that because they put special valves in it, and I can't even fill it myself. So I feel you. So there are weird ones out there. Yeah, I don't have the answer for you, man. I really don't. But yeah, I do have the answer for you. You need to call an AC guy or go to an AC place and have them take a look at it.
All right. Yeah, I'll look around. I don't know. You just seemed like a knowledgeable mechanic, and I was like, maybe he's seen this kind of thing.
There's guys in here saying you need the R34 conversion from the R12, and there's conversion kits for it. So R34 conversion from an R12, maybe put that into Amazon and see what you find.
Oh, I've already converted it. It's running R134 already.
Well, for fuck's sakes, man, take that thing to a shop.
I'm my own damn mechanic. All right, thanks, man.
I'm with you, man. You don't find me in mechanic shops, that's for sure. But anyway, good luck out there, brother.
Hey, have a good one.
Yep. And I don't go to mechanics for one reason only. I don't fucking trust any of them, man. I don't trust any of them not to fuck me. I really don't. Like with my pickups and stuff, and I don't care how. I will fix it myself. or I will push the thing off into the fucking dumpster before I take it to a mechanic. I just don't trust any of them. You get fucked every time. Every time, I swear. I let my wife take her rig to the mechanic shops occasionally, but anytime she's taken to the mechanic shop, I'm like, okay, have them diagnose it, diagnose it. We'll go get all the parts. Then we'll call around and get quotes from a bunch of different places, and we'll be up, we'll tell them, okay, we're only paying you what this quote is, and we're bringing the parts. And I mean, I'd hate to be a mechanic shop dealing with me, like, oh, it's that fucking guy. What an asshole. But it just is what it is. I'm so worried about getting fucked by all these mechanics. So, anyway, back to the callers. No name. You're on the air, brother. What can I do for you?
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, my name is Jay. Hey, I got a 6NZ, and I have a boost problem. Bad leak. I hooked my computer up to it the other day, and I'm just getting like, the most boost I'm getting is like 10 PSI on it. I changed the charger cooler, the boost. The only thing I haven't changed is the turbo on it, which I'm going to do in the next 2 weeks or so. You have any idea on that?
Yeah, I got a bunch of ideas. The first thing that anybody's going to jump to always is air-to-air leak.
Fuel pressure.
Air-to-air leak, all that kind of stuff. But there's just so many other things. Like Glenn says here, change the air filters. All these different things. But here's where I would default to be honest with you. If you're only getting that much boost, first thing you need to make sure is that you're not dealing with a derate for some reason, which is probably what's going on. The ECM is the thing that's actually cutting you off from building boost. Because if it was air filters, let's just run down a couple things. If this was air filters, if this was air to air, if this was some kind of boost loss, that thing, your intake air temps would be so high. I don't know how long you've been trying to drive it like that, but your intake air temperatures would be just fucking off the chain, right? They'd be off the chain. The other thing is it would probably not be stuck. I mean, are you like stuck at one boost pressure and it just won't go over no matter what you do?
Yeah, when I'm driving it goes up to like 10, and I have to go to like 1500 RPM for it to go up that high.
You're deviated.
I changed the CAC all your charge cooler, change filters, and it's good.
Right.
I changed
just listen to me, brother. It's derated for some reason. Do you have any check engine lights at all?
No.
Okay.
And I got a friend that has a Cat ET hooked up to it, and it's clean. So
okay, but
yeah, it got me puzzled. But the only thing says to change the turbo on it.
I'm gonna run you down some things to check, okay? Because it's probably not the turbo.
Okay.
Don't change the turbo. That's not how you do things, okay?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay, so you pull the exhaust off, you pull the intake off, and you inspect the turbo. If all the fins look good and everything looks good, put it back together and quit worrying about the turbo. It's not the turbo. I would change your boost pressure sensor and your barometric pressure sensor and your intake air temp sensor. Those three sensors, and see what's going on. See what it does when you change those.
Say that again, sorry.
Boost pressure sensor, barometric pressure
sensor.
I
changed that.
And the intake
I think I changed that too.
Yeah. That one's where?
On the driver's side. You talking about I can't remember the name of it. Where if you go high, it senses it, and if you go low, atmospheric pressure sensor.
Yep.
Yeah, I changed that and the boost pressure sensor, and the same thing.
And the intake air temp sensor.
I haven't changed that one.
Okay. Intake air temp sensor, and then check your turbo and all that. And if it still won't get out of its own way, you need to get it to somebody that can walk through all these diagnoses to figure out what's going on. What it's not is it's not the ECM. I almost guarantee that it's not bad injectors. I almost guarantee that you'd be talking about totally different problems. You just have a problem. For some reason, this thing is not. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say fuel restriction, fuel problem. Obviously, hook up a fuel pressure gauge and see what you got, right? But most likely not. When you can't build boost because of fuel, those things will typically just run like fucking shit. And I'm guessing it doesn't run like shit. It just won't build boost and get out of its own way.
Yeah, that's the thing. It runs good, but when it comes onto hills, it doesn't have any boost.
Yeah, it's derated for some reason. What you're describing is derated for some reason. The craziest derate I've ever seen in my entire life was the coolant temp sensor. And it wasn't it wasn't in the there's no code for it, no nothing at all. I had the Canadians hooked up to it, and they're like, oh, it's probably your coolant temp sensor. It's ohmed out all fucked up. Sure enough, I put in a coolant temp sensor, boost was right back, and we were cranking, right? It's something stupid like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna change that one tomorrow, and then I'll see.
All right, brother. Well, good luck.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Yep. Bye.
Taking the call. All right.
Oh, I got what you meant. Anyway. Yeah. That's the thing about a lot of those sensors is, like a lot of those sensors won't show anything at all in Cat ET, especially your boost pressure sensor. If it's just the diaphragm or the barometer, that's why I always go to those two, your boost pressure sensor and your barometric pressure sensor. They're just a diaphragm. They get gummed up at all. They give false readings. The ECM just doesn't like it. Same thing with your intake air temp sensor. The ohms will be fine, so it won't throw any kind of code, but it just can't tell how hot the air is, and it doesn't, it doesn't know how much fuel to put in there, or it's cutting back the fuel because it can't read how hot it is or whatever else. So anyway, we're getting close to the end of the show here, guys. We got 20 minutes left, so I got 3 callers here. We're going to cut it off at these 3 callers. Caller number 22 will be the last caller. Appreciate everybody that did call. Let's get to these guys. We got a Cat 3126. What can we do for you, brother?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good.
So, man, I'm a big fan. I got to say, I love your show and I love your videos. And so the big question here, this Cat 3126 is in a tow truck, and it's not the big engines that you typically work on, but this guy is having all kinds of problems with it just shutting off and dying. And he's changed out the ECU. He's changed out the injectors. He wants me to change the high pressure oil pump. But after that comment about the ATF and the fuel, I'm the one that made that post because this old timer, every time he changes the fucking fuel filter, he fills that son of a bitch up with ATF to start it with.
And your ATF today is nothing like the ATF he was using back when he was a young man.
See, and that's what I thought. I was told that it doesn't have the detergents and the lubricant in it that it used to.
It's the
But
it's the
you can't tell this guy nothing, you know.
yeah. Most likely what's going on with that thing has nothing to do with any of that. When it dies, how do you guys get it started again?
So it's weird, man. Like you can sit there and idle this thing all day and it won't do nothing. But you take it up on a drive for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it'll just shut off out of nowhere. You shut it off for about 10, 15 minutes, and it'll fire right back up and drive for about another hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, it's electrical.
But it
issue.
only dies after a while of being under load.
That's an electrical issue.
Electrical?
Yeah, something's getting hot and shorting out, and then when you turn it off, it cools off. And I'm guessing that if you let it cool off for 15 minutes to get it started again, it doesn't take long for it to do it to you again. Yeah, there's something going on there.
And see, we've done the injector harness, and
no,
ECU,
it's
like I said,
most
but,
likely something, like ground. It's most likely a ground problem, ground to the frame or something like that. You only get hot on your shit only starts to overheat if it's a grounding problem. Something's not grounded correctly.
Okay. 10-4. Well, yeah, that's about all I got for you, man. I appreciate you answering.
All right, brother. Good luck, man.
Yeah, keep up the good work. Love your videos.
Yeah, thank you, man. Have a good night.
Later.
I fucking hate electrical issues. God, I hate them. Some guys are really good at them. My brother-in-law is really good at them. Thank God he worked for me for the last 23 years. I probably would have shot myself at this point with the trucks I owned. Oh, man. Buying older trucks, all the electrical issues. Ugh. 2 more callers. Let's burn through them here real quick, and then we'll just chit-chat in the comment section and make fun of each other and call it a night. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Me? Am I up?
Yep. What can we do for you?
Hey, so I'm a new technician, recently out of school. I had that in about a week and a half ago. White smoke, bubbles in the coolant, blow by tube. So I pulled the oil pan, didn't even have coolant system, and I had coolant pouring out from cylinder 1. Took it to us as soon as, and we started tearing into it. Pulled the head, cylinder 1 full of coolant. Sent the head out to the machine shop. Ton of cracks in it, so obviously thinking the head's bad. I checked out all the cylinders.
Did you die? Hello? All right, we lost him. What the heck? Well, that sucks. We'll go on to the last caller here, I guess. I was really interested in what he was going to say there. If he calls back, we'll take his call. His name was Stuart. But anyway, last caller here. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, got a 2016 ISX. On the fuel pump, the 3 bolts that hold that sucker together, they have backed off twice now. What could be causing that?
I'll be scanning the comment section to find out what other people say because let me just give you an example here. If you work for me and you don't use orange Loctite on those and they back off and I have to warranty it, you're fucking fired. I swear to God, because they back off. And obviously vibration does it. But I am so sick of warrantying those goddamn ISX fuel pumps from backing off that if you work here, you're putting orange Loctite on it or I'm kicking you in the ass.
So what you're pretty much saying is it's just a chronic problem.
It is a chronic problem. Brake clean real good, and orange Loctite. The reason I recommend the orange Loctite is because it holds like the red, and you can actually get it off later if you need to.
Okay, because I told my mechanic when he first did it, he knew he put Loctite on it, and they backed off, and I just tightened it up on the side of the road one day, and then it was probably maybe a couple days later, whatever, took it to them, and they backed it. That one was already backed out again, but
I mean, we do.
He did say he put Loctite on them again and cleaned the shit.
Yeah, guys are, improper torque, worn lobe in the pump, could cause it to vibrate. There's a million different things, but I have this problem on engines we sell. And when we sell an engine, it's all new bolts, new pump, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's and since I made it mandatory here that they have to leave here with orange Loctite on them, I haven't had a warranty in a long time. And it was like every other engine, I'm getting a phone call and my, a picture, my fucking pump's falling out, you sons of bitches, and I personally.
Yeah, and that first time it happened to it, the only thing that was holding it together was the fuel lines.
Yep. No, same. I mean, I've seen the same shit on our own engines. So, I'm not a big fan of blue Loctite. In fact, I think blue Loctite's not, I mean, you might as well just use spit or something. Blue Loctite's worthless. Red Loctite, I'm not a big fan of it either because god damn,
Oh yeah.
Red Loctite's not fucking around, man. That stuff is not messing around. But the orange is just the cat's meow. We use it on everything.
Okay, yeah, because I even threatened to him. I told him to Loctite it and even if we got to put different bolts in it, put damn lock washers on the fucker.
Yeah, yeah. Orange Loctite, man. Get it nice and clean. Orange Loctite. Stop worrying about it.
All right, sounds good. Sure do appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yep, thanks.
Use the green. Come on, Glenn. He'll never get it off. He uses the green. Yeah, lock washers work good, but when you're in my shoes, if it didn't come with lock washers, you don't want to be using lock washers. Then you get all kinds of grief and blah, blah, blah. I'll use lock washers on cat in a lot of places where they don't tell you to, but we still use the orange Loctite. So we still got 15 minutes of show here, guys. Let's run it out. The calls are all done up. I was kind of hanging out here on the call line to see if Stuart would call back. Stuart, call us next week, I suppose. I'm going to shut the phone line down. I do appreciate the call. I was really interested in what you were going to have there. But we'll just have to catch up with you next week. So phone lines are shut down. Is it missing the support bracket at the rear of the pump? I don't think so, man. Those stupid ISX pumps, I don't know. They're just a pain in the ass. Yeah. If you use the green Loctite, it won't fall out anymore, but good luck ever getting it off again. The only place I use that green Loctite is when we're doing king sleeves on head bolt repairs. And boy, you got about 3 seconds to get that thing driven down in there. I don't know what it is about it. It's not even supposed to be a quick set, but I don't know if it's because it heats up when you're putting those in, but man, if you don't get that king sleeve in there right away, you're only going to get it about halfway and it's stuck and you got to cut it out. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Glenn. Stewart's head was fucked. He actually gave me a huge description in the call log there. Most guys don't do that, but some guys do. And I was reading the description before I went ahead and shut down the phone center. That was going to be the end result of what we all told him, is that head was no good. That head was fucked. What year X15 do you recommend? I don't know, man. They're all kind of the same, you know. I would say the later years I would shy away from, because if you have any problems, there's no aftermarket support for them and you're forced to go OEM and spend out the ass. But that's not even a thing anymore either. We got kits for all of them now. So oh, Stuart's in the comments. I see. Yeah, I don't see where he's commenting, but I believe you guys. Oh, Jake's asked this question multiple times. I just never found a good time to answer it. Would the 1 micron filter remove the additives? Now, yes and no. You really have to determine that by taking oil samples, run whatever your preferred oil is out. And if you're worried about it, maybe go 20,000 miles, take a sample, see if you're having problems with your additive package, appears to be having an issue. It certainly could on a 1 micron. It certainly could. Not all of it, of course, because again, it's dissolved chemistry. It's not like, oh, I just stripped my whole additive package, I'm fucked. But you could be stripping some vital components out of there at a 1 micron. That is absolutely true. That's why partially why we changed to a 3 micron. We just didn't want to force people to use our oil. But is it like guaranteed I have a 1 micron filter, I'm going to fucking ruin my oil, I'm going to blow up my engine? That's not the case, but it's not a guaranteed you won't have a problem, and I don't like that either. Why must we sample everything we do on our trucks, but not the women we pick? I mean, some of us sampled, a little bit before we bought the goods. That's another conversation for another time, probably, though. Use red on my ISX. Use red Loctite on my ISX. Was freaked out for about 10,000 miles. I mean, I've had to heat up a few bolts and nuts in my life that had red Loctite. That's why I just kind of shy away from it. No, there's no. It's not that there's no time left. Because once you get guys in there, you're just kind of committed until you go through them all, and some people drag out, and then I'm here till 9:30, 10 o'clock. Am I still using Cinepec oil? No, ma'am. We have our own oil. I obviously use our own oil. I will still use Cinepec if I don't have any of our break-in oil. But I haven't used Cinepec in a long time. What would be the benefits of using Cinepec? Pretty simple. Rotella makes a good oil, decent oil. Cinepec is Rotella. Their oil comes from the same field. They are a joint venture company. Cinepec is more affordable than Rotella. I would use Cinepec before I would use Rotella because they're the same oil. There you go. Now you can run Cinepec's full synthetic, which is a tier 3 full synthetic. It's not a miracle product, but it is substantially better than the tier 2 regular oil because it's been hydrocracked quite a few more times. And you can run Cinepec's full synthetic multiple hydrocracked oil. It's going to cost you the same as running most people's tier 2 single hydrocracked oil for the same price. So I've always been a big proponent of Cinepec. Some people don't like the fact that it's made, it's a Singapore company, which really means that it's a Chinese company. Let's not bullshit anyone. But all you have to do when you call Cinepec, if you don't like that and you want to buy American-made oil, you tell them you would like the American-made oil, and they'll send it to you in a gray barrel instead of a red barrel. But you're kidding yourself. It all comes from the same field. It's just to make you feel better, and they charge you more money for it. Not a lot, but they charge you more money for it and send it to you in a gray barrel instead of a red and white one. And you pay more money because you get to pay more money for your, so you can feel better about yourself. How would you get more power out of a C12 besides rip it out? You don't. You take it to the max CPL that you can. You can check to see if tuning it up, it could be not tuned to its max. So tune it to its max. And then that's it, brother. There's not enough displacement in it for you to do much. A lot of oil people buy from the stores is from the same place. That's absolutely, they just put a different label on it. That's absolutely true. It's just like us. I'm going to share videos with you guys here soon of our adventures on the oils that we have from in the lab and at the blenders. My sons don't want me to share any of that footage right now because we're having a hard time keeping the oil in stock, and that problem will be solved in the next week or so. And then because when I make videos like that, everyone and their mom calls and tries to buy stuff from us. So and I'm not claiming we have an oil well and we're making oil. What we have is a blender that's blending oil the way that we want it, right? And we're putting our label on it. That's how most oil is made, right? And I've talked about this lots of times. There's only a couple additive package makers like Lubrizol and Chevron. So you're buying your additive package from one of those places. You don't have a choice. And then what do you do beyond that? Well, our oil is a little bit more unique because our oil is a full synthetic, true full tier 4 full synthetic. So we're not dealing with base stocks like everybody else. Ours is actually a chemical process oil, made from natural. There's no petroleum in it. It's a natural gas derived oil, and then we have our custom additive package that we put together with our blender, and there you go. But what makes our oil so badass? It's not the additive package per se. It's that it's a tier 4 oil to start out. We could basically not put any additive package in, and it's already better than 99% of the shit on the market. I started using oil directly off the pump jack. Dello 400, probably the worst oil on the market. Dello 400. That stuff is just fucking junk. Have an N14 that cranks way too long before it starts. For some reason, you're losing prime, obviously, brother. On your N14s, it's almost always the check valves in the ECM. If it's not the check valves in the ECM, then you have a line somewhere with a hole in it, for sure. A well-known good trick is to take a fuel line, go directly to the fuel pump, and stick it in a bucket of oil, and see, or bucket of fuel, and see if your problem goes away. If it does, it's from their back. Your check valves, your fuel supply lines, your standpipes, fuel tanks, something. If the problem doesn't go away, at least you've eliminated all the shit behind you and you're only dealing with engine forward. Anytime you're dealing with a hard, fuel problem like that, that's the first thing you should do always, because that eliminates back. And, don't just say I checked all the fuel lines. It's not how it works. You have to eliminate the fuel lines. You can't check the fuel lines. You got to eliminate them. N14s need injectors. They all do. There's also that when you're dealing with an N14. Injectors on those things are such a joke. Probably the best ones you can get are Interstate McBee's. That's the only ones we carry. If you call us and want N14 injectors, we're going to send you ones from McBee. They make them. They're actually new. So, Premco has injectors for those. They're well known for having great injectors. I'm sorry to throw them under the bus, but Interstate McBee makes their injectors. Not for their big cams. Premco makes the injectors for the big cams. They do those themselves, but the N14s, they get them from McBee. But anyhow, guys, we're coming to the end of the show here. I appreciate everybody that participated in the comment sections, helped out. Glenn, Mike, all you other gentlemen, Castros. I don't remember seeing you before, but you were very active in here. Appreciate that. Grizzly, of course. Pretty surprised to see Diesel Beast in the comment section on TikTok. He's one of the guys from shoot, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, he used to be a regular on here. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all. I'll see you next week. We have a lot of cool stuff happening this week, so keep an eye on our videos. We're supposed to, or next week, I should say, coming into next week. We'll be showing videos of our bearing. If you guys don't know, that tungsten disulfide system that we're doing, what I've wanted from the beginning is a polymer resin, because that's what makes the best bearings. And so we finally got a company to do a polymer resin bonding on our dry lube, and we've been testing that bearing out for weeks now. And I know for a fucking fact that we have the best bearing on the market right now. I can't wait to show everybody here in a couple of days. I'm rebranding them as to hell and back bearings, because I already know they can go to hell and back. You could dilute your oil 75% with diesel fuel, and these bearings are just keep getting it. Had to bring the stage 5 cylinder heads. We're gonna do them in house. We have a container load of cylinder heads we bought 3 months ago. They take forever to get here. Those are getting delivered, and we're gonna do all of the upgrades here, and we're gonna make videos on that. We're gonna be doing all the Inconel valves, intake and exhaust. We're gonna be pulling all the springs off, rem finishing them, and I bought a hydraulic bearing press to press in all the bearings ourselves. We're gonna have those same polymer bonded dry lube bearings going into the cylinder heads. We're going to do them all. We're going to build them ourselves here. So anyway, and you guys know we've had turbos for a long time, but the one big problem we've had is it's always a couple of days if you order a turbo from us for it to get processed. We have 200 turbos coming in that are going to just be for stock to eliminate those problems. And our manifold that we've been working on for 9 months, we get the final prototype and production run already started. We're getting the final prototypes sometime at the beginning of the week, and the production runs are going to hit the market here probably within 2 weeks. It's going to be, again, the best manifold on the market. We're going to have a massive warranty that comes with it. Pretty cool, when you're looking at stuff like that. So you sit down with the guys that we do a bunch of R&D, and then we take it to guys and say, hey, we want to recreate this, but we want it to beat these guys and these guys' manifolds, like Full Tilt or whoever it might be. So you look at the metallurgy that they're using, and you look at the metallurgies available for doing something like this, and then compare that to how much it's going to cost to produce it. There you go. So you can kind of make stuff as good as you want. I mean, all the way up to making it out of stainless, to be honest with you. Just depends on how much you're willing to spend and in the R&D and development of it. It costs us like, we wanted to have them extrude honed, of course. I mean, that was the big thing, is how do we take the manifolds we've been extrude honing here, then coating and putting on trucks, and we're seeing how well they're doing. How do we do that at scale? And that was the biggest thing, is making the molds that will produce us an extrude honed manifold. Those freaking molds cost us like 10 grand each. So we want to release 5 or 8 manifolds. So we're like 80,000 into it before we even have a single manifold to put on the market. Freaking crazy. But we've been working on it for a long time. We're finally about to release it. I just received my in-frame kit today. Which coating will be in it? Some kits we've been sending out with no coatings as we're transferring over, and we just call people, let them know, give them a credit or whatever. If you do get coated bearings, they will probably be tungsten disulfide. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Those tungsten disulfide bearings are badass. Do they deserve the hell and back moniker? Probably not. They will come into their own if they have a carbon problem, a low film problem. Would they survive 7 gallons of diesel fuel like a polymer bonded disulfide will? Probably not. I'm not going to sit here and say that because it's not true. But they are badass in their own right. You're not doing yourself a disfavor. But anyways, guys, you just keep an eye on us. We're got a lot of cool shit going on, and I'll catch you guys next week. Yeah. I don't know. This shirt, I had this shirt made all the way back when Biden was in office, because anytime somebody would say something about Biden, I would always say, who shit my pants? Because that's like how I imagine Biden. He's so senile. He's just walking around and he realizes he shit his pants, and who shit my pants? He's so senile, he doesn't even know he shit his pants. So I made this shirt to be funny when Biden was in office, and then I lost it forever. And then my old lady was cleaning up and she found it. And so I was like, well, it's not as funny as it would have been as if Biden was in office, but I'm still going to wear it because it's still fucking funny. But, I mean, obviously it would be funny for any senile person, or, it's basically saying you're senile. But at the time when I made it, Biden was in office, and I thought it was pretty funny because that's just how I always imagine Biden is just who shit my pants. But anyway, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, you guys have a good night. I'll see you next week. Love